The whole Dooker verse was in a dark, dense space. Booty hole! Like, I know those aren't the lyrics, but my memory's been pretty bad since I took a 40-pound weight to the cranium while playing Trivial Pursuit. Now, with what could only be described as a massive concussion and a mildly exposed skull, I thought it would be a good idea to watch all 12 seasons of The Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory is a TV show made by a bunch of boring Hollywood jerk-off producers that have no concept of what a fucking nerd is, who proceeded to produce it so bland and cheaply it polluted the airwaves for 12 years. Need I actually review it? And let's clear the fucking air real quick. Why did I watch 12 seasons of a show I hate? Well, because I didn't like the show, but anytime I'd criticize it, people would say, oh, well, if you haven't watched the show, how do you know it's bad? Well, guess what? I watched all 12 seasons, so fuck you, you've got to hear about it. The characters in this show are entirely unbearable. A bunch of one-dimensional man children that are barely capable of cleaning up after themselves after jerking off in their mom's house. That's actually not hyperbole. In 12 seasons, none of them exhibit any signs of actual character development. Anytime a character does change, it has more to do with the atrocious writing, shoehorning, and retooling the character to fit into the situation than them growing naturally and adapting to the situation. You know, the basis for a situation comedy. So many times the show showcases the character's failure to learn. Maybe the fucknuts in charge could have spent more time trying to develop endearing, maybe engaging characters even, instead of making sure the science was correct. For who? No one watching your show gives a fuck. And the people that would, they're not watching your show. Knock, knock, knock. Know your fucking audience. The pop culture nerd aspect of everything is so superficial, it's insulting. I mean, I'm guessing it would be. I'm not a fucking nerd myself. I don't fucking care. Whatever. I'm just saying, in defense of them. You know, their knowledge to references that are so surface level, it doesn't even make sense for the characters to be this ignorant. Ooh, and Raj and Howard. Raj being entirely unchanged, unlikable, and a vaguely racist caricature by the end of the series. And Howard the sex pest would have been better off dying in space. Neither of these unkempt, used glory holes have any redeeming qualities. The point being is you can have uncultured, unlikable characters, even as your protagonists, but you can't have them get what they want. Otherwise, it validates their behavior. The only one that manages to rise above all of this is Mia Bialik's Amy. And they even fuck her up too! And I'm not gonna threaten to elbow Sheldon until he's bloody, because at that point, it's just beating a dead horse. We all know he fucking sucks. There's nothing entertaining about this character, and the amount of time we spent on him and his arc wasn't worth the time it took to get there. And if you're wondering why I'm going so hard on just characters in a comedy, it's a sitcom. They're literally the driving force behind it. They fail entirely here. Am I missing any characters? Must not be important. But it's not just the characters. The structure of each episode is a fucking mess. Every episode you watch either ends abruptly or ends with a step back. It's like they ended in Act 2. Anytime anything with a dramatic weight actually does happen in the show, it comes out of nowhere and doesn't fit with the overall tone of the show. Luckily, this is a rare occurrence and you don't experience tonal whiplash too often. I OD'd like during 3 episodes, and even then I was still keeping up with every beat and every punchline that were borderline outdated by the 80s. They overuse the laugh track so much that I have PTSD every time that I laugh. I don't know how many different ways I could say that the show's success is an anomaly. Chuck Lorre is a fucking hack. His shows are the epitome of bland white comedy, minus the comedy. But this show is the most egregious due to its stunning lack of talent outside of Bialik and Kuko. Good for them for finding different projects and not being held down to this. There are so many sitcoms out there with better timing, better writing, better performances. I can't even recommend testing this show out. I've seen fucking TikToks that are funnier. And if you're looking for more subversive nerd comedy, try giving yourself paper cuts between the webbings of your fucking fingers and toes using a Joker comic book. Buzz, go fuck yourself.